To be honest, I inherited a mess. It's a mess. At home and abroad, a mess.
Well, as far as the Trump administration, they've inherited war crimes. He did. He inherited. And he is the successor of presidents since 1893 who have inherited war crimes committed in Hawaii. Violations of international law of unimaginable proportions. The fact that people in Hawaii are clueless as to what Hawaii was in the 19th century is the evidence of the crime. My great-grandparents were born in the kingdom in 1880. I know nothing about the kingdom. That wasn't because I just didn't know it. It's because no one taught me. People did not teach anything because everything had to be Americanized, right? So we're the evidence of the crime, right? Now, for Donald Trump and his administration, he really has nothing to do with Hawaii. Nothing. Because he's the president in America. The entities that have everything to do with our situation is the United States Pacific Command and the military. Here, boots on the ground. Because we're in a sovereign country. We're in a separate country. Donald Trump is in another separate country. But he is responsible, as the president, for how the military operates here. But he also inherited all the liability of the previous presidents. Okay. Now, the previous president, Donald Trump, he was the birther man, right? And I smiled when he first came out with Barack Obama was not born in the United States. And I actually presented I gave a presentation at NYU, okay, also at Harvard, and it was titled, "Why the Birthers Are Right for All the Wrong Reasons." Because Barack Obama was born in Hawaii. He was born at Kapiolani Hospital just, 3 years before I was born there. I was born in 1964. I believe he was born in 1961. He was not born in the United States, period. But I'm not saying he's not an American. His mom was an American, so he's an American citizen. There's no doubt there. But he's not natural born. Now, not being natural born affects your status as a president because under Article 2 of the United States Constitution, the president and vice president have to be natural born citizens. He wasn't natural born. So now that what comes into play here is, well, if he wasn't natural born, then he wasn't president. If he wasn't president, what was his administration for 8 years? But see, that's not my problem. That's the United States problem.
I just want to let you know, I inherited a mess.
They have now just been affected by our reality here. It's called collateral damage. For myself, I served in the Army. I found out I was in the wrong Army. I wasn't angry, I just had to move on. So I was ready to put my life on the line. I did training in Korea, yeah, Hokkaido, Japan. You know, my last command was a battery commander, 105 howitzers. When that balloon goes up, I had no problem firing live rounds. In fact, I kind of looked forward to it because our training, right? I was on both active and reserve. Okay, finished off in the National Guard. National Guard was my primary unit, yeah, first of the 487 Field Artillery. To think that I'm here to cause trouble, no. I think people should realize my background. And then I also have a PhD. And I'm also an educator. And I'm a responsible person. I would think they might want to keep this from him because he might use that to say he was correct against Barack Obama. I think possibly the intelligence agencies, they fully apprise, I know, George Bush and Obama. No doubt. Because these international proceedings were taking place. Now, whether or not the intelligence group is advising Donald Trump about this, I don't know. I would think they wouldn't want to tell him because he's going to take it out of context. Because you're talking about a powder keg here that can blow economically, politically, and criminally, right? So my job is to fix this problem. There is no doubt that the state of Hawaii, although they're illegal, they're in control. And I'm not about to have this, to use a metaphor, this plane called Hawaiian Airlines, who's flying high in the sky with American Airlines, but it's disguised as if it's American, painted red, white, and blue. That paint is chipping off. This is Hawaiian Airlines. We are still not in control of our plane, but it is our plane. The kingdom still exists. We're not in control of it. I have to be careful that this plane doesn't take a nosedive economically, legally, and politically by people who are incompetent. So I take every step very seriously to address this problem. That goes to the heart as to why I refuse at this stage to submit this manuscript that implicates all of these people for war crimes until I take the necessary steps to ensure that this plane doesn't crash. That's what's important to me. Whether people believe it or not, it doesn't matter. Can you falsify it? I'm not asking to agree. And that's my background. And that's my approach to this is my approach as to how I do things. I take a very practical approach. I'm a retired captain. I still am an officer. And these are some very hard issues. And not everybody can grasp it. But there is no doubt that I know it. And I'm responsible for it because I know it. And that's what's important.